Hey guys, today we're going to do another deck profile. This one's going to be on my UAs. This is going to be part one of a two-part deck profile on this. I have two builds that I'm testing right now, and I kind of want to see what you guys think about either one. First one is UA Chain Beat. This is really kind of a fun build. The idea was that it uses the Chain Beat engine in order to, a very small one at that, in order to basically slow the duel down and let the UAs catch up, because that's one thing they don't tend to do very well is get started. They have a really, really, really great avalanche effect as soon as they go off, but it's getting them there. So, yeah, let's take a look at it. Alright, let's get started. First up, we have a UA Playmaker. This guy's kind of your beat stick. He gives attack to other guys. He's nice. You need one. Second up is UA Blockbacker. He negates any special summon monster's effects and changes it to the opposite battle position. He's really nice. He comes in handy at weird times. Yeah, I just really like him at 1. Another guy he's good at 1 is UA Goalkeeper. He protects any other UA, including himself, from any kind of destruction, battle or card-wise, once per turn. It's just really nice to have. Sometimes you just need to sit on him. Then we got 2 Mighty Slugger. He's your one-wayer bodies. Really nice. Gets you over a lot of stuff. UA Predesa is also at 2. He's your once per turn opponent's turn Herald of Perfection. Next up, we got UA Midfielder. He's almost required at 3. He's the only one that's normal summonable through conventional means. And yeah, you need 3. Next up is the Wind Up Rabbit. This is the only monster that we're using from the Chain Beat engine. Basically, his effect is during either player's turn, which means you can chain it to things. You can target any other wind up on the field, including himself, and banish it until the next standby phase. And this is really crazy. This effect's really fun. It basically just lets you dodge anything and everything. Next up is the one-off Regeki, because we can play it. Next up is Storm. Now, Storm may seem counterproductive in this deck because you don't want to destroy your stadium. But you play so many chainable traps and continuous cards like Tanky and stuff that having those on board gives you something to just blow up later that you don't really care about, and it lets you clear the back row, and this deck doesn't like playing against heavy back row. So Storm has been testing really, really well. I really like the card. Reinforcement of the Army. You need this at 3. It searches your midfielder. Oh boy. I wish I could play it at 2, but we're playing 3. Next up is Terraforming. Terraforming is pretty much essential at 3 as well. It lets you get your stadium. And here you go. Because I'm playing Chain Beat, I can tend to get chain counts very, 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 very high. I've gotten up to 6 or 7 before with this deck. It's really fun. So I was like, wait, chain summoning should be really, really good in this deck because I can use Rabbit to bonk the chain up. I can basically chain him to any normal spell, and this becomes live. And if he's been on the field for a turn, that means I get 3 full normal summons of a UA midfielder, which is excellent. It really, really skyrockets the consistency and blow-up factor of the deck. Then we have the 2 Tanky. This is searches your Rabbit. This gets you your stall play. Basically, what you do is you play Tanky to get Rabbit, and then you set on Rabbit for a turn just to kind of, wait out your opponent's turn, keep him from doing stuff, and then, yeah. UA Power Jersey at 2. Sometimes I want this at 3, sometimes I want this at 1. It's weird. It's one of those love-hate relationship things. Like, I love the card. It wins games by itself. It's a really fun card. Like, this in Mighty Slugger just really, really do some serious damage. But sometimes at 3 it's cloggy, and at 1 you never see it. So it's like, 2 is kind of perfect, but sometimes I don't see it at 2. I wish I had the room for a 3rd. UA Stadium, fun card. It's pretty much the entire engine of the deck. When you normal summon your UA midfielder or tribute summon any of the other guys with your Wind Up Rabbit, basically, yeah, you get a normal summon and you get a search. And then if you get a special summon, you get a 500 attack boost. Yeah, really nice. Next up is Reckless Greed. Because we're playing 42 cards and not 40, we can't use Upstart. So instead, we are running Reckless Greed. And Reckless Greed is really fun. The skip your next 2 draw phases doesn't stack. So if you get 2 of these off, you get 4 cards when you would have only drawn 2. Next up is Compulsory Escape Device. This is a holdover from the Chain Beat engine. This combos very well with Rabbit. If Rabbit's the only thing on board, you can chain Rabbit to the activation of this, and then only your opponent shuffles one monster into their deck. Basically making this a targetless, destructionless removal, which makes this card extremely useful. I've used this on my own UA before, just because, really, it's a halfway decent card. I don't know why it doesn't see more play. I mean, sometimes sending one of your useless guys back to the deck is far more constructive than allowing your opponent to play some monster that you have no other answer to. So yeah, the things really help me. Next up is Accumulated Fortune. Because I can get the chain count so high in this deck, I found out that Accumulated Fortune acts like a second playset of Reckless Greed. More times than not, I will have Reckless Greed in this set, and I'll get both of them activated. And because this only skips 2 draw phases, it's basically like activating 2 of these, but instead I'm activating this and this, or 2 of these. It's just really, really nice. I like this card in this deck. It works really well, actually. Alright, and last but not least is Fiendish Chain. This card is great. It negates an effect and keeps your opponent from attacking. A lot of times you'll play this on like a tour guide or something, and then equip Mighty Slugger with UA Power Jersey and just crash over for game. It's really, really nice, and because it's continuous, if you remove that card via any other effect, it'll stay on board and it'll help you with your Storm. It's really, really fun. I really, really like this card in this deck. Okay, next up would be the extra deck. The extra deck's just rank 4 and 3 toolbox. It's really nothing special. The only thing of note would be MX Saber Invoker, and sometimes you can play this with 2 Rabbits. It gets a midfielder. It's kind of nice. And then for the side deck, we have 3 Lancia for Ritual Beasts, and I guess Nekroz. Shared Ride for, I guess, would be Ritual Beast and Nekroz. 3 MST in case your Storm just isn't quite cutting it. 3 Royal Decree in case you're running into some very heavy trap decks, like, for instance, Ritual Beasts. Steeds really, really hurts the deck, and it's a real problem. So this is a really nice card to have on your side. Last but not least is Light Imprisoning Mirror, because S-Knights are very, very fast and very, very detrimental to this deck. Getting triggered every turn is quite annoying. So you pretty much need this card. Alright, and that's it. Let's look at some duels. Alright guys, first up we have a duel I played a little while ago against a new Aromage? I don't know. Whatever. In this duel, I don't actually get off any of the rabbits. It's literally all just UA. But I do a nifty thing here next turn. He didn't get rid of my Perfect Ace, which lets me basically use Midfielder's effect to get the chain up and activate and resolve chain summoning. Which means I can pretty much just do what I want. And also, I decided to use Compulse in this to get rid of Playmaker, because I can just search him again. And I figured I'm going to summon 3 monsters when I had 1 to start the turn. Who cares if I put 1 back in the deck? If it lets me do a direct attack and get rid of whatever his face down was. I don't think at that time I knew what he was doing. So I Fiendish Chain it, which was a shame. I still can't kill it, I don't think. 23? No, I can. So I get back that UA Playmaker that I got rid of, and yeah, he quits. Alright guys, we have a duel against Gravekeepers. This one's kind of fun. This one showcases chain summoning quite well. I also got my Accumulated Fortune in this duel. I drew really weird. I just drew a bunch of search cards. So I'm like, alright, well, I guess I'll just deck then. It's not like he's, not going to know what I'm doing. And I figured I'd sit on Goalkeeper because I thought this might have been Hat, so I was like, oh, there's probably a lot of destruction cards. Plus, I saw him search the bottom list, so I was like, alright, well, you're not going to be able to kill this. So I'm like, yay, let's start getting some effects off. Whee! Getting Chain Summoning and Accumulated Fortune in one hand. Oh, yeah. And here's where I use Storm to just completely obliterate the field, leaving Trap Tricks, Trap Hole Nightmare, which is a terrible card against this deck. Whee! I wasn't sure if it was maybe Mirror Force, so I was figuring I'll just do a safe thing and just attack with Slugger. I completely exploded last turn, so I'm not sure what he's going to do. So he tries to attack with this, and I'm like, no. I just didn't want him to summon the hand, so I was like, yay. And he quits. Alright, this one was against Heroes. I actually got the rabbit thing going this game, which was cool, because I want to show you guys me using this at least once, right? So he sets tons of aggro. I managed to wing the Book of Moon, but I'm like, ugh, there's a lot. I even have the midfielder in Stadium, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to search with my tanky and grab another rabbit and just see what he's got. And he tries to kill me with Mirror Force, and I'm like, alright, well, we're going to dodge that. And he can't do anything, so I let him go. And he summons Bubble Man and Mass Change, which he got to sack me with, to blow up my back row and attack me for some damage. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I don't know what this is. So I figure I'll try to blow it up with Alucard here. And because I'm playing Wind Up Rabbit, he didn't know what I was doing, so he called Wind Up Shark, which is why I love this part of the deck. If I open Wind Up Rabbit, at least game 1, this card is completely useless against me. And this card really hurts UAs because we search a lot. So there's like, alright, well, I'll just call whatever you grab with UA Stadium. But in this case, at least game 1, this doesn't do very much, so my opponent may side it out. He at least doesn't do anything game 1 with it, so that I can be prepared for it next game. And at very worst, I go into game 2 with a win, and that's really what I want. Because you really want to, be winning game 2, not losing game 2, because that means you have no slack. So he calls Wind Up Shark. It, must be baffled that my hand has nothing to do with that. And I just start doing some UA shenanigans, because his board's completely open, and he's got, like, nothing. I figure I should probably play Blockbacker, because he's going to probably try to play Dark Law next turn. And he totally does, and it was a bad move. And I'm just like, then he just quits. Alright guys, this one's against Volcanics. I actually misplayed in this duel. In the comments below, let me know if you guys catch it. See what I did wrong. It was really, really stupid. And it didn't matter, I still won anyway. And you'll see why in about a sec. I'm like, yay, I'll just do nothing again. And he keeps trying to blow this up, so I'm like, alright, no. And he keeps hitting me for some damage. I'm like, ooh boy, that's not looking good. I was like, you know what? I don't care. Use him to get the chain going. Woot! So much. I kind of took a risk. I was like, well, if I'm going to draw 4 cards, I'll see something I can do. And I blow his field up with the double tanky storm, and I go ham. Do some damage. Get that ace. Woot. Alright, that's it. Alright guys, that was Chain Beat UA. That's part 1. Part 2 coming up is Fire Fist UA. It's also another fun build I'm working with. Now that we've lost the tour guide engine, I wanted to see if I could do rank 3s, and lo and behold, Fire Fist just got their rank 3 engine back. So let's try it out. It kind of works. It's fun. But yeah, until next time, remember, if you can't control the meta, nobody will.